welcome to Not Made. My name is Rachel and I'm the creator of Not Made and a bunch of random crochet plushies and other crocheted items. So, Happy New Year! I've been texting Happy New Year to everybody all day just so that my phone would do the fireworks thing. It's just so fun. And today I was going to get a project and have like a crochet and chat, but I'm just not sure I'm ready for that because I have to concentrate. I can just do video or I can do crochet, but I probably can't do both. But that's something I want to work on. I would like to do some crochet and chat videos. However, I can't like crochet without looking. I know some people can. I watch these people and I'm just like, you guys are magic or something, because I always have to look. So it would be a lot of me like looking down at my projects, and I don't know how fun that would be. It kind of feel awkward. I don't know, maybe not. You can let me know what you think. Do I have to look at the camera in order to be making a video? Maybe not. But yeah, I would like to kind of ease into doing some of those going into the new year. So let's talk about resolutions. I've got some yarn specific resolutions for this year, and also content specific yarn related resolutions as well. So you'll have to let me know, are you the type of person who likes to do New Year's resolutions on January 1st, or are you the type of person who's really resistant to doing New Year's resolutions? Now, I have been both at various times in my life, but I have been for the last while on the side of making New Year's resolutions. And I just love that time where it comes to the end of December, especially the week between Christmas and New Year, where Christmas is over, you feel like you can kind of relax just a little bit and really kind of sink into that feeling of possibility and positive energy going forward into the new year with everything that could happen. And obviously there's two sides to every page. There's going to be the ups along with the downs, and I know that, but I would just kind of like to revel a little bit in the feeling of positivity before we hit the ground running in January. So here it is, January 1st, and I wanted to talk about my specifically yarn related or this YouTube channel related goals for the year. Okay, so as far as my yarn related goals, I want to use my yarn stash. If you scroll back a little ways, and not that far because I haven't made that many videos, you'll see me redo this whole yarn wall it was probably the end of last year or the beginning of this year. Sometime in there, sometime in that New Year's phase. And it's all mixed up now. My husband had to move some stuff, so things got thrown in the middle and it's just a mess. While I love the idea of a yarn wall, I'm not a very aesthetic person, as my daughter would call it. And it's just very difficult. It's one more thing for me to have to maintain. And I don't just have yarn to have a yarn wall. That's kind of silly. I get the yarn because I like it, or I get it for a specific project and then that doesn't end up happening or whatever. But a lot of times too, I have a little bit of retail therapy, and it always takes me to the yarn store. And I get the yarn because I like it. I think it's pretty, which, I mean, it is. But this year I would like to get more organized with my yarn and de-stash somewhat. Now, I'm not saying I won't buy yarn because I know that that's ridiculous, but there are a couple of very specific things I want to do. First off, I have a bunch of little yarn remainders that are about this size or even a little bit bigger, but they're generally not big enough for like a full project. Obviously with some of the amigurumi you can make lots of things with little bits of yarn, but I have a very specific pattern in mind that I want to try. I have not found like an actual printed pattern of this. It's just the concept that I have seen, and I want to try it with some of my leftover yarn. So that will be a forthcoming video at some point. So I want to do that with some of those little balls particularly. I'd like to get rid of those because I have, well, I'll show you. Okay, now up towards the top are a little bit bigger skeins, but as we come down, and this is like an over-the-door shoe rack just from Walmart, I'm sure. As we come down, you can see all the little balls of yarn just stuffed full in there. And that isn't even all of them. Okay, so there's those. That's not all of them. I've got a basket full of them down here, and there's some on these shelves. So that's excessive. Like, why am I hanging on to that, right? I need to use it or lose it, essentially, is kind of my idea for this year. And I'm not going to be in a rush. This is just a yearly goal. I want to get rid of a bunch of that stuff before I keep piling in the new stuff. Another thing that I want to do along those lines is to use up the rest of my Bernat blanket yarn. As I mentioned before, I don't really enjoy working with it. It hurts my hands after a while, and I would like to just kind of phase that out, but at the same time, I'm not going to waste that. So there's a few plushies that I make that look good, specifically in the Bernat blanket, so I'm going to use up the yarn that I have for those, and then unless absolutely necessary, I'm going to try not to purchase any more of that kind of yarn because my wrists and hands just really can't take it, and I want to enjoy being able to crochet. It's not that enjoyable when you're hurting. So that is kind of that. The second personal yarn goal for me is to go through my whips and either finish them or frog them. So I have down here lots and lots of, this is basically done, but it has no border, and I realized it just needs to have a border. This was just something that I kind of made out of the blue. I've got my beaded weighted blanket that needs to be finished for sure. Down here, that right there, is a big whale that I made out of this huge gigantic chunky yarn, but I don't have enough of it left over to make the fins and the tail. So what do I do with that? I gotta figure that out. So all of this stuff, all of these whips need to be either finished or frogged. So they don't need to be hanging out in my place rent-free, okay? Basically. So those are my main yarn goals, I would say. Just the two. Getting rid of the yarn stash as much as possible, specifically the small balls, and then going through the whips and making a decision about those. And actually I already know a couple of them that I'm going to be frogging, and that will be super, super delightful. As far as this channel goes, I would absolutely love to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. I don't know how possible that is, and that's not really a goal I'm going to be like actively working towards. Like, I'm not going to be doing the metrics and trying to figure out how to grow the channel necessarily. It's just a pie in the sky kind of goal. I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers, but if not, then that's okay too. It's just a fun thing to think about, and you know, I want to post more regularly, which would obviously help with that. So that would be a goal kind of in line with that, but also its own separate thing, just posting more regular content. One of my goals as far as content goes is to try out some crochet kits. Now, I got a few of these for myself for Christmas, and to be honest with you, I've never done a Woobles, but I have the book. Somebody gave me or gifted me the Woobles book maybe last Christmas. I don't know. I haven't made any of their patterns. I'm not sure how I feel about the yarn. So one of my girls has a Woobles kit. It came with a curriculum that she had. So I do want to go through that with her because she is interested in learning. But I did find some other kits. I think the first one I'm going to do is this one called Cookie Box. And this little guy is Hugo. Hugo the turtle. He was just too cute. And then all of these I think I found on Amazon. So they're all various different kits, and I just wanted to kind of see what all the hype was. So Hugo will be our first kit of 2025, and no promises about when that video will come out, but I'm hoping it'll at least be in January. Okay, so stay tuned for that. That's a lot of fun. And besides that, I really don't have anything else. Those were the things that were on my mind moving forward into this January that I wanted to accomplish, just for myself personally with yarn, and for this YouTube channel and that kind of thing. So I didn't want to put too much on my plate because I do tend to do that. I get carried away with the excitement of the new and the and the possibility, and then before you know it, I burnt myself out because I tried to do too much too quickly. So those are the things I have on my plate for this year's resolutions, and I would love to hear about any of yours. They can be yarn related or not, but I like talking goals. So if you feel like sharing, drop a comment And then I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Anyway. Okay, 10 goes is, oh my goodness, I need to make a goal for having less cray hair. One of my, I feel like I just tilted the camera. Hang on a second. Are we good? Okay, that's a little better, I guess.